Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Board of County Commissioners meeting for December 21st, 2022. If you'll please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And normally at this point of the meeting, we have an inspirational word, but I think at this time, what I'd like to ask is, it's been an interesting year for a lot of us. Some have lost family members and good friends, neighbors, church members. So at this time, I guess I would ask that we all just pause for a moment of silence to remember all those who've left us in 2022. Thank you. Madam Clerk, if you'll call the roll, please.
Commissioner Lundy.
Here.
Commissioner Hung.
Here.
Commissioner Moore. Excused.
Okay. We'll move on to resolutions.
Number 1, investments.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Appropriations.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Transfers.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Number 4, advances, repayments, none. Number 5, requisitions.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Number 6, travel, none. Number 7, bills.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Number 8, authorize various personnel actions as indicated on the summary sheet for employees within the jurisdiction of Lorain County Board of Commissioners.
I will, at this time, move to approve the personnel summary sheet.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Number 9, approve and waive the reading of the County Commissioners meeting minutes of December 14, 2022.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Number 10, approve the 2023 temporary general fund budget.
So move.
Second.
Discussion.
Yeah, at this point, I know last week we kind of hit the pause button on the 23 budget. It failed for lack of a second. So what the board is going to do today is have a vote on a temporary budget. I'd like to call our finance director up to the podium. I know some had suggested it'd be 60 days. I'm always more comfortable with 90 days on a temporary. And with finance director, we'll explain how we normally handle a temporary budget.
Morning, Commissioners. So today we have in front of you, I have a $57,290,954 temporary budget, and as Commissioner Lundy had described, this will be a budget that will get us through the first quarter of the year. So what we did is, aside from breaking out the personnel expenses and giving them the first quarter, there's several accounts throughout the general fund budget that you guys are mandated to provide insurance, the health insurance, taxes, whatnot. So this budget here in front of you will allow the county to continue business as usual.
Yeah, I think it's important to point out that number's a little higher because there's the court budget is in there as well too, which we receive the court orders and then those funds are allocated.
That's correct.
It'd be a much different situation if that wasn't the case. So I don't want the people to think that's just first 3 months alone, that's where you're going to spend.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, this temporary budget takes into account the original budget that was under consideration last week. And like I said, it will get us through the first quarter, plus those accounts that you mentioned with the courts and those mandated expenses.
Okay. And if you can just give us the latest, we're ending the year on a strong financial footing.
Yeah, that's correct. 2022 was a strong year for the county. We're expected revenue-wise, we're expected to probably bring in about $80 to $81 million for the year, which is up last year. Revenue across the board was very strong. This was the first full year as far as sales tax revenue that we were missing that 0.25%. But again, the sales tax figures, the real estate across the board, interest rates rising across the board. The revenue for the county was extremely strong, and so I expect the county to be approximately $4 million to the good this year, revenue over expenses this year.
So what we would be showing is basically, I guess, $41 million surplus.
Correct.
and-
Up from about $36 million
Right,
last
up
year.
from
Correct.
36, even though some folks were accusing us of deficit spending. So, but we're going to finish the year strong, stronger than it's ever been in the county. That number will probably be reflected differently because of the 20 million set aside for the Q construction account for the purpose of a new jail, correct?
Correct. That would take our carryover going into 2023 down to approximately $21 million.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good. Any other questions?
You asked
Okay.
all the questions.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Casey. No, that's okay. Thank you, Casey. Appreciate it.
Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Number 11, adjust salaries of Lorain Municipal Court magistrates effective December 19, 2022, which reflects the county's 2/5 share at the new biweekly rates. Michael Burkhart at $1,030.80 and Richard Schwartz at $1,489.58.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
12, adjust salaries of Lorain Municipal Court judges effective January 1st, 23, which reflects the county's 2/5 share with the new bi-weekly rates. Judge Mark Mihawk, administrative judge at $973.08, and Judge Thomas J. Elwell, presiding judge at $950.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
13, approve a grant in the amount of 10.
If I could, Madam Clerk, I'm sorry. We had discussed yesterday, I'm going to make the motion right now to make a change to the agenda items, bringing item number 30 to the floor.
I'll second.
Discussion. Number 30, approve $130,000 from Lorain County Honor Fund for 3 veteran memorials in Lorain County to be paid from Lorain County Honor Fund other expenses account. Pulaski Park, Lorain, in the amount of $30,000 that will match commitment made by the city of Lorain in the amount of $30,000. North Ridgeville Veterans Memorial, North Ridgeville, in the amount of $50,000 that will match what they have already raised. And the Ohio Hispanic Memorial Lorain requested $50,000 that will help match the commitment made by the city of Lorain in the amount of $75,000.
So move.
Second.
Discussion.
Yeah, at this time, I guess I'd like to bring forward some folks to just give us a quick update on these veteran memorial projects. I know Steve Bancik's in the room and Jacob Smith, but if you could update us on the Pulaski Park project in Lorain. Always good to see you, sir.
Nice to be here. You know, as I look around the room, I kind of get the feeling this is the safest place to be.
Right, yeah. They heard
I
you were
hope
going to
we
be
don't
here.
need them. I am, of course, one of the co-chairmen of Pulaski Park. I think you might want to know who is it that's working with me.
Sure.
The other gentleman happens to be Mike Kacher. Mike Kacher is a graduate of West Point. He served 4 years in the United States Army, which will make our Veteran Service Director happy when you mention Army. I would also tell you that he is the commander of AMVETS Post 47 and the president of the Lorain Veterans Council. Yours truly, of course, I'm the national treasurer for the Polish Legion of American Veterans, and we cover everything from Texas in the south to Connecticut up north, Chicago going to the west, and we can keep going, but we're in like 16 states. I would also tell you that I am a member of the Veteran Service Commission, but I'm not here in that jacket right now. I'm here for the preserved Pulaski Park. The park is an ongoing effort. The inflation, coronavirus, and building prices kind of gave us a bit of a hold in the last few months. And then we found that the trees are somewhat of a problem. We thought we could save them, but apparently we cannot. We are waiting for the architect's drawings now that he knows the trees must come down and must be replaced. And if you're going to ask the reason why, I would tell you this is because of the trees, most of the roots are high. So they actually come up and out of the ground. So when we get the trees down, we have to decide how we're gonna handle the ground, and we're gonna have to remove the roots too. So we've decided to wait until spring. I would tell you that in our personal drive to raise money, we've raised some $11,000. In donations, of course, inflation slowed us down quite a bit there too. And the city did promise us, and we are awaiting the check of $30,000 as we approach the board here for an additional, quite possibly matching funds, if you would, of 30, which would give us right now right around $71,000, which is very close to our target. And if you were going to ask us what is the most expensive portion of it, and that is the reason we slowed it down again, is the sidewalks around Pulaski Park, which is a diamond where two streets come together. To replace the sidewalks, the guesstimate was $43,000. We're hoping to cut that back quite a bit. I would tell you that a little bit about Kazimierz Pulaski, for those of you that are Polish. His name is actually Kazimierz Pulaski. He came from nobility in Poland to fight here in the Revolutionary War. One of the things that he was noted for was he saved George Washington's life at one time. He was also very responsible for what you and I, and even the director of the Veteran Service Office, know now as the United States Cavalry, because he formed and trained the people for the cavalry during the Revolutionary War. In fact, at 31 years of age, he died in the charge of Savannah with the cavalry. And I would only suggest to people that are war buffs, if you will, that to Google his name would be a very interesting read for everybody, because as I said, he came from nobility. And if you read about what he did in Poland, their cavalry was quite unique, because behind the horseman, if you will, was a plume of such that rose about 6 to 8 feet above the rider. And with their spears and swords, they were considered dangerous and scary to the people when they first came about. The Pulaski Cavalry, as it was called. It's a very interesting reason. I can give you a little more of an update if you'd like, Commissioners, but that's basically where we sit.
Okay. No, sounds good. I know you've always been a big advocate in the veterans community and also a member of the Veteran Services Commission. I know you're here today in a different capacity, but I know it's a good project for the community and for the veterans, and thanks for all your work on it.
Yeah, and I would remind and there are other veterans in the room, I would remind the Commissioners that, of course, it changes daily because we're losing a lot of good people.
Right.
But there are some 20,000 veterans in this county that appreciate any help that's given to them. Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you, Steve, for coming. Appreciate it.
Up next, the North Ridgeville Veterans Memorial Project. Mark Feinbrenner and Jim Hurdinsky, I should say VFW State Commander Hurdinsky. Absolutely.
Former state commander.
Former state
I'm out
commander.
now.
Did that just change recently? Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for having us up here today. In 2019, I'm a bit of a history buff, so I was poking around North Ridgeville. I've been living there for over 20 years now, and noticed that we didn't have a Veterans Memorial. As a retired vet, I thought it'd be very important to honor our veterans because we had so many contributions from our city. So I reached out to the city, at the time Councilman Jim Oleski, and he worked it out where we got a nice plot of land in South Central Park. And since then, we added Mr. Hurdinsky to our board, Sarah Markle, Dawn Fitz, Dana Rickles, Brian Carlton. We got the design from Kevin O'Brien from Lifestyle Landscaping. When we first did this, we thought, well, $50,000 will be nice, slow plot, you know. And then Kevin came out and opened our eyes, said, let's do something different. Let's do something that's going to be one of the best, and not just in the county, but the state. We want it to be somewhere where kids can learn and we can educate people also. And we just recently talked to Keith Martin from MBD Homes. He's going to be our project manager. So we needed somebody to experience a building to make sure we get this done efficiently. So we after that, we basically got a bunch of donations from places like Beckett, Rydell, Bogner, Home, VFW Post 9871's been very supportive. The Lions Club, the Lorain County Veterans Commission, Northview Animal Clinic, and Yost Construction. We've also been selling pavers for the construction of the memorial. Our first estimated cost was going to be about $250,000. That was pre-COVID. Since then, we know prices have gone up, so we're looking at a lot, probably closer to $350,000. So far to date, we have raised $225,000. So we're getting close to our goal, and we're at the point now where we can actually start clearing the land, which is going to start happening in January. We're going to start clearing the land a little bit, and this is probably most likely what we're going to use this money for, and we're also going to use it for drainage. The plot of land we have right now has a lot of standing water after the rain, so we want to make sure we put the proper drainage and take care of that land before we put anything on it. The memorial's going to have a nice path cutting through it. It's going to have mounds. It's going to be blocked off from Bainbridge and 83 there, just to give it more of a secluded look. And it's going to have a fountain where we're going to honor the fallen of North Ridgeville, who gave their last full measure. Their names are going to be engraved into the fountain. And then we're just going to add to it. We're going to make sure that it's there for future generations, and then we're going to hand it off to the VFW for Veterans Day celebrations and Memorial Day celebrations, and a place where we can gather. So we appreciate this opportunity, and I'd just like to thank you guys. You have anything?
No, that's it.
So, I had a question. So how many names are going to be engraved in the fountain to start?
I think we're like 23 names. We're working closely with the North Ridgeville Historical Society. They've been hand in hand with us, but we're still researching it. But yeah, there's over 20.
Good, and I just wanted to say, we talk about up here quite a bit on the matching dollars here for the grant dollars. And you guys have done an exceptional job fundraising. I mean, I see the advertising all over North Ridgeville when you're having events. So you guys have done a very, very good job with that.
Yeah, thank you. And we appreciate you guys attending our events. We've seen you at our events, and we do appreciate you guys being there and supporting
And
us.
you guys have done a good job getting the word out and sending the invitations.
Thank you.
I know when I was at the Corn Festival, Gene Kleinholtz was showing me the amazing work he's done in gathering a lot of old articles on veterans and their military photos and putting together a montage, and a lot of good people serving the community. A lot of familiar names, too.
Yeah, Gene's been very instrumental. He's been very helpful with us.
It's a great project, and, so we hope that this will provide some additional assistance to get it done.
Yep, we hope to get it done quick. Thank
Okay,
you.
Sounds good. Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks, Commander. Up next, the Ohio Hispanic Memorial for Lorain, request of $50,000. A couple representatives here from El Centro. Good morning, gentlemen.
Thank you, Commissioners, for this opportunity. This project started approximately 3 years ago by former Chief of Lorain, Celestino Rivera. During the pandemic, put a hold on it, but during that time, he was putting a committee together and visiting other memorial monuments in Ohio and out of Ohio too. For our surprise, we realized that the only Hispanic or the near Hispanic veteran memorial for Hispanics is in Buffalo. We don't have that many in this country. So everything started with thinking that we have a little plaque in Oak Park celebrating the Hispanic veterans here in Lorain. And we started talking about that, and it like almost like North Ridgeville, the project started growing and growing and growing from there. Since Celestino passed, this summer, the committee have an opportunity to put a pause and restructure ourselves and figure out what we're going to do in the future. But it was very clear that we want to see this project move forward in honor of Celestino. For me, I was behind the scene. This kind of project is not my expertise. I'm more into the social services, but I was behind Celestino providing all that support because I thought it was very important. But also my father and my brother are both veterans, and between the two of them, I think they served like over 50 years to this country. But Celestino was a big mentor for me too. But also the veterans in Lorain deserve this kind of momentum that is happening here in Lorain County, and I'm proud to be here with many other projects because I think Lorain County is going to be one of those destinations for veterans to visit and go to all those memorials. So that made me super happy. But since then, I'm the chair of that committee now, and we have two veterans that are the co-chairs. One is right here with me, Anthony Baez, and we have also from the Lorain County Drug Task Force, Vic Ortiz is the other co-chairs. We have accomplished a lot in the last 6 months since Celestino passed. This became from a vision to a reality now. We put together a case statement talking about our capital campaign and putting our vision together, very clear and very comprehensive document that I think all of you received it, and hopefully you have an opportunity to read it. But also we have from Clark and Post donated their time and have all the blueprints, and we have able to put a budget too. It went from like almost similar to that. It went from fixing that little plaque to a project that the first two stages are $500,000, and those are the first two stages. The goal of this also, even though it's a Hispanic memorial, the goal is that it's going to be in Oak Park near to the National Guard, but there's already a Hungarian monument that is there already. So the whole goal is that in the future, it became a veteran lane with different memorials from different minority groups or different groups that want to keep adding to it. So that's the goal of this, that even though it's a Hispanic memorial, it's next to a Hungarian and hopefully become a memorial lane. So that's the plan for this. But we also have a commitment from the city for $75,000. Yesterday, we received another commitment for $10,000. We have able to receive donations from community members from $5,000. And also we have a group of Oberlin students writing grants for this project too. They're involved in this. And also we have a company that have already committed to do all the lightings and electricity for the park and everything else. So it became from a vision to a reality, and we're very excited about that. So thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for the support.
Antonio, any words you wanted to?
Yeah, so Antonio Baez, I'm a resident of Lorain, been here, born, raised in Lorain, in the city of Lorain on the west side. Moved to the south side after serving in the Marine Corps. So I've been in the community my whole life, left for a while to serve, and then returned back to join law enforcement, has also joined Congress in my official capacity. I support this project very well because my son also is a veteran and it serves. This has been a huge undertaking, but it's kind of built now. So as they started talking about it, and we started talking about it in 2019, during the COVID pandemic, it halted all fundraising and opportunities that we had to go out and actually put the word out. And then, unfortunately, God rest his soul, as he passed, it actually built it. It brought us all together. And now it's not, maybe this is going to happen. It is going to happen now. The city has also offered opportunity. The city of Lorain has also offered the commitment of a swath of land for this project of 1 acre or 2 acres. So this is a very big project, but it's moving right along. So just like North Ridgeville, and just like Victor said, I'm honored to be around amongst so many people that are doing similar or same project. But this is a little bit different for us. We need a voice. We need to be heard. We don't have to have our heads down anymore. And I think that this is a project that will serve not only just the Lorain County, as we mentioned, but the state of Ohio, because it is the Ohio Hispanic Veterans Memorial, to bring all communities throughout Ohio here to Lorain County. but also in the Midwest in this area between New York and I think the next one is probably somewhere in California or New Mexico, to bring everybody from throughout our surrounding states to come and visit and benefit our community. So I thank you for the time, thank you for the platform, and appreciate it. God bless you. Thanks.
Well, thank you for, for your commitment to this project. I'm sure Sal's looking down. He's very proud of you guys today and all the work that you're doing and taking up the charge. And yes, Sal was one of the very sad losses of the year and such a inspiration in the community, and always involved in everything. And I got to tell you, having worked with Victor Leandri all these years at El Centro, this county doesn't realize how blessed it is to have El Centro and all the great work that you do. And I know I've looped Victor into a couple of projects along the way, and I don't know if I'm going to have the time, Matt, but he always end up, stepping right up and getting things done. So thanks for helping to spearhead this project, and hopefully this support will help out in a great way.
Thank you.
Okay, Madam Clerk, if you call the roll.
Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
13, approve a grant in the amount of $10,000 to Lorain Main Street Development Corporation, DBA Lorain Growth Corporation, to support economic development and growth in the city of Lorain through various activities and events that attract tourists and visitors, a nonprofit adversely affected by COVID-19 pandemic, and be paid from the ARPA other expenses account.
So move.
Second.
Discussion.
Yeah, do we have representation here from Lorain Main Street Development Corporation? Okay, we don't. Okay. Well, I know they played a major role in the great growth that's taking place in Lorain, the city of Lorain, downtown Lorain, and it's just exciting to see the economic activity that's picking up in the area. So hopefully this will be of help to them as well. Any other comments?
Yeah, no, just when people recall when you go down to the Black River for the train station and the Christmas decorations, and this is just a small piece of what they do. So it's always nice to see what's going on in downtown.
Okay.
Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Number 14, approve a grant in the amount of $50,000 to Primary Purpose Elyria to provide safe housing environment, food, and programming for Life's residents, a nonprofit adversely affected by COVID-19 pandemic, and paid from the ARPA other expenses account.
So move.
Second.
Discussion.
Yeah, Chuck, there he is.
Good morning, Commissioners, and thank you for having me, and happy holidays to everybody. As I stated in the letter that I wrote last week to you guys, the need, I'm sure, recovery has touched a lot of people's lives in this county. I came down from Cuyahoga County to help out in this county. I'm now a resident in this county. I had the treasurer of our board provide the last 3 years a statement of activity, all the way up to last month of November. I just want to talk about the need for more employees for us, so that we can continue to help. As you can see, in 2020, I had to lay off several people because of the COVID pandemic, and our numbers dropped greatly because we got to be able to have supervision for these individuals. And as you can see, throughout the last couple of years, it has declined. We are on a rise again. We're trying to desperately bring in as many people as we can, even though we're short-staffed the way we are. Currently, right now, we have 4 full-time employees, and that's including myself, to try and help these men and women of this county. I don't know, there's a great need for this. I'm sure the beds in this county, we do have 121 beds. We've been running at half capacity for the past 3 years. So, any
And
questions?
Chuck, I see in here that with the grant, you guys do go after the grant money out there. Wasn't there one you recently got, Community West? Did they?
We did, for $20,000.
Tell us a little bit about that, yeah.
Yes, the grant that we filed for. Well, we asked for money because we are currently in the process and on track to be CARF certified for community housing in this county. So that was kind of the money that we asked for to help us along with that, the process, the consulting, and consulting fees, and for the application, it's quite expensive.
Again, that's another thing we like to hear up here, that you're going after other grant money and
We
can
are.
do it as a match.
If you notice, back in 2021, we did receive direct funding from the state of Ohio on the SOARS grant, and then we got that again this year, and we got it again for the coming year.
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt to apply, because the worst
No,
they
it
can
does
say is
not.
no.
It's really what's kept us alive and kept us going.
Yeah, well, we talk about it all the time here, and, I've been a big advocate for making sure that we get dollars into the community to deal with the opioid epidemic. The pandemic has kind of overshadowed it.
It
I
has.
think probably going to hit numbers close to, maybe 200 for the year with overdoses. And, our first responders in the room, they know all too well what they're seeing on the street all the time. So we just need to do everything we can to get these folks back on the road to recovery, so they don't end up in our prison system, and so that they can actually go home to their families, have a good job, and support their families.
Correct.
Well, thank you for all that you're doing. We really appreciate it. We certainly hope this support will help.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chuck.
Merry Christmas,
Merry
guys.
Christmas.
Happy New Year.
Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Number 15, establishing a policy of support for project labor agreements on certain county construction contracts with budgeted costs in excess of $250,000.
Move to approve?
Second.
Discussion.
Yes, I'd like to just, explain with project labor agreements, this is nothing new to Ohio. Just to give you an idea of some of the projects that have been done under project labor agreements, Cuyahoga County's Convention Center and Hotel, that was a $272 million project. Franklin County Corrections Facility Project, $325 million. Franklin County Hall of Justice Project, $28 million. Hamilton County Coroner Building, $53 million. In Scioto County Commissioners Scioto County Jail Project, that was $12 million. And one that everybody should be familiar with, Lorain High School, the Lorain City School District, that was a $59 million project. So project labor agreements are not new to counties or to government. You also see them in the private sector. The PLAs ensure construction project delivery is on time, and the good part, under budget and with the highest quality workmanship, and I can't stress that enough. PLAs ensure access to a licensed, safe, and highly skilled workforce. It's good from the standpoint, too, of keeping local workers working on local projects that are in their community. And PLAs also protect the taxpayers by delivering really good construction services, premium construction projects, and competitive best value pricing. So that's why we're taking action on this today, seeing the value in this. I know there's going to be projects coming up in the future in the county. And Commissioner, do you have some words?
Yeah, I think you kind of said it all, but we're looking to the future here with some big projects that we've been talking about all year. And as we know, these projects don't just happen at the snap of a finger. Sometimes they take 1 year to 5 years, Karen. But it's just preparing for the future.
And then when these project labor agreements are put together, they're project specific. So at that time, all the details are worked out on the specific project operating under the PLA. But I think this is certainly good for Lorain County and good for the community. Any other comments?
No, I think Karen's just happy we didn't call her up here to talk about projects.
Okay, here you go. Okay.
Not too late.
Yeah. You'll please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
16, entering in contract with Village of LaGrange for county self-insured health care plan effective January 1st, 23 through December 31st, 24.
So move.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Under 911, 17, enter an agreement with Cleveland Communications, Inc. to provide goods and services for a public safety radio system on behalf of Lorain County 911 will be paid from the ARPA capital equipment account.
So move.
Second.
Discussion.
Yeah, at this point, I know that we've got a number of members of the first responder community who would like to tell us about what their experience has been with the radio system. I do want to point out there, was a study done by the county, and to identify what the needs were. And it's important to also note that, up to this point, the communities have been responsible for their radio purchases. And the way that we're structuring things here is that the county would be providing the radios, and then the respective communities would have their trustees or their various city councils send a resolution of support that would go to the 911.
Yeah, the way it's structured is that for the entities that are not governed by
That's correct.
Chapter 305 of the revised code, is the law basically requires that your fiscal authority enters into an agreement whereby you'll do a subscription fee and participate in the radio system. So that's the structure of the deal. It's got to be done in two pieces, where the county agrees to dedicate the money, and then there's going to be a period of time under the agreement that we've negotiated. In that agreement, that period is 60 days, in which local governments can determine whether they want to participate in the program or not, and work through the paperwork as set together by 911, the 911 director, I assume, in conjunction with the county administrator and probably myself. And at the close of that 60-day period, then the agreement will effectively start. Performance will start under the agreement for the radio system. That's how that works.
Yeah, I just want to make sure the community understood, because sometimes there's a misunderstanding that all along we've been paying for the radios in the communities, and that's just simply not the case. So I want to clear that up. But this is going to be more than a $4 million investment going back into the communities. We have heard far too many stories of issues that have surfaced with safety on the job. We don't want any lives being lost. We want to make sure rescues are successful and that everybody goes home for the day to their families. So the first responders, I know, have had a chance to test these radios, and they're going to give us some of their thoughts on what they've experienced. And unfortunately, I understand we had a bad situation over the weekend because of some poor radio performance. So I've got a list here of folks who have signed in. Not everybody had to sign in, just so you know that. So it's going to be difficult to determine what order we're going to go in. But I know that I would like, as a professional point of order, have Mayor Hunter come first as an elected official, if you would, please. Just asking if everybody please keep your comments to maybe 2-3 minutes at the most, since we have a lot of folks wanting to speak this morning. Good morning, Mayor.
Mayor Hunter, Sheffield Village Safety Director and Mayor. I'm also President of the Lorain County Mayor Managers Association. This has been a project of the mayors in Lorain County since I took over as mayor, president of the council 15 years ago. It was back in 17 that we started the survey here in Lorain County through the commissioners. They did a study. Later on, we applied for grants through the Fire Chief Association to get grants for radios, etc. We were denied and denied and denied. Without the help of the commissioners and without the help of people like Jeff Young, our fire chief, and now the 911 director, and the support of all the mayors, we finally achieved that grant for 5 of our cities: Sheffield Village, Sheffield Lake, Avon Lake, and North Ridgeville. A good example of how this system works is that recently, this past weekend, we had a terrible fire in Sheffield Village. Due to mutual aid, we had Avon Lake, Sheffield Lake, North Ridgeville, Sheffield Township, and Lorain all respond to the fire.
In Elyria.
It was a tragic fire. But one thing that operated very well on was the radio system. For the first time, all the people were able to be on the same wavelength with the radios. And it was a life-saving experience. You could sit and listen to what was going on as the pumper trucks broadcast over what was going on in the conversation between the firemen. It was crystal clear. They were inside the building, saving people's lives and communicating with each other. Without that system, and without this system today to go to the rest of the county, it wouldn't be made possible. I know that There's a lot of people have talked about the radio system, this system or that system. The mayors took it upon themselves to have all the people bid on that system for us. And we interviewed them, and we brought out their equipment. We had them take them into the buildings, into the back roads, into the valleys, into the parks, in all of the cities. And it came heads and shoulders above everything that the Harris radio system performed the best. So the 5 mayors and the 5 city councils and the 5 fire chiefs all joined hands and had Harris radios put into our system for our fire departments. The police departments now, some of them have went on board because it gives a superior system to us to work on. I know that without that, this wouldn't happen. And I know that the council and commission put a reflector up on your tower out here that helped a lot. So I'd just like to come and support this today to make sure that the rest of the county is there to have the same protection and the same equipment, so our firefighters can go home in the same condition they came to work in, and that our residents and those that need get the service that they deserve. Thank you very much, and God bless y'all. Merry Christmas to everyone.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. Let's see. Okay. Is the sheriff here?
Yeah, he's in the back.
Oh,
Sheriff's Committee.
oh, okay. I guess I understand that Sheriff Stamidi is he in the room?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Sheriff, did you want to say a few words?
Good
Morning, Commissioners and everybody. Good
Sheriff.
morning.
Sorry, I didn't
Everybody
see you back there.
here. I'm no radio expert, I can tell you that, but I tell you, we've done a study on this L3 Harris system ourselves, and I know you vetted this out. It was put out with an RFP. And I can tell you, I heard this system a couple years ago myself. I've never heard better quality. The deputies are in the back of the room now. They can tell you all the horrific stories we've had. I've been at the sheriff's office for 36 years and been in law enforcement 49. And this is a system that we definitely need, and this is the system that we want. Too many times I'm listening to the radio myself where they got to repeat what was said, where they can't copy. We have 5 SROs that are actually in schools right now, that when they're in the school, they cannot communicate with anybody, and it's a very dangerous situation. As you know, this county is almost 500 square miles, and we need to talk with firemen. We need to talk with other police agencies, and this system will do it for us. And I know with the ARPA money, we can. Now's the time that we need to get this communication system. I can tell you, I've spoke with some of my fellow sheriffs that have the L3 Harris system. Sheriff Corbin from Huron County, they love the system. It's crystal clear. I've talked to Ottawa County Sheriff Lavorchik over there. He said it's a great system. I know in Medina they got it, and I believe the Parma Police Departments. I know Sheffield Village has it, and many of the fire departments. And I know Fire Chief Pernesti and Weatherby, they spoke on this system too. This is something that we need to be able to communicate with each other. Captain Ash down in Bosley know a lot more about the system. Maybe I'll let them. I know it's a phase 2, which is what we need also. Marks is not. So this is the system that we really want.
Captain Ashdown, you have a story about taking one of the radios out into the southern area of the country. You could share that with us?
Right. Captain Ashdown, Sheriff's Office. It was probably early on in this project. Everybody's tired of hearing from me. But I think we showed that between the mayors, those 5 mayors, the fire departments in the county, and ourselves with this test, and we've done our due diligence to prove this system. That day, myself and EMA Director Fetter actually took a portable from Sheffield Village PD and went all 4 corners of the county, going portable to portable with Chief Asaldin at his police department. And we had better reception with that radio without the proposed towers that are going to be put in, and had far better communication with that standalone system than I've seen in the last 27 years at the Sheriff's Office with our current system.
Okay. Any other questions?
Captain Bowser, the Sheriff's Office. I guess the only thing I would like to add is A couple things, the phase 2 difference, if those aren't familiar with it, phase 1 radios are, it's a radio, it's a great system, it's a good system. The difference with phase 2 is we build new buildings in the county. We're using lower energy, more efficient buildings. Those buildings kill radio signals. The low E glass kills a radio signal when it goes in. These are essentially computers that are on our hips. And if we can go to phase 2, we can still partner with those buildings for very low cost, set up Wi-Fi networks, so these radios will work in those buildings where a phase 1 system will not. So that's, I think, a critical component why we need to go to phase 2. And the only other thing I'd like to add is in 32 years in law enforcement, I'd like to applaud the commissioners because this is the closest I've ever seen. You're never going to get unanimity across the board, but we have a lot of police and fire here, labor and management, and they're all in unison that this is a system that we need to get. So thank you.
Captain Bosley, you're making a good point, because when you go back to the mission critical study of 2019, that was one of the points they made, that you made about the new buildings and the glass and all of that we need to be moving to a phase 2 system, and this system is the one that possesses the technology to do so. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Let's see, Chief Joe Pronesti, City of Elyria.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chief.
Joe Pronesti, I'm Fire Chief here in Elyria. First off, I want to thank the commissioners for getting this finally to some sort of resolution and a vote. Also for incoming Commissioner, Mr. Rydell, I'd like to extend an offer to sit down with you, with the fire chiefs, to discuss this system, get you up to speed, and tell you where we're at and the importance. So I'll be in touch with you after the meeting. This is going to be point counterpoint. Mayor Hunter described a fire in the village, and there was one thing that he left out, was that if his village firemen got in trouble, it was my firemen that were going to get them out. I couldn't communicate. You can't communicate with the village, and so that's a danger. And I appreciate you coming and describing and detailing that. But Saturday highlighted my biggest fear, and that is sending my firefighters currently to the Northeast for any kind of event and not having the ability to communicate. I had to eventually send a runner. I had to send the officer in charge of my shift commander, out of the city to act as a runner. And it reminded me of a very poignant video that was taken on 9/11. The chief of the fire department, City of New York, Peter Gansey, the last known video of him is him getting a message and looking up. And the message he received was because the New York City police and the EMS and fire could not talk, and they had to send a runner to Pete Gansey to give him the information about the building. So a gentleman runs, finds Gansey, he whispers in his ear about the stability of the building, and you see Gansey looking up. And that's the last you ever see of Peter Gansey. We don't need that here in the county. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to have a skyscraper fall, but the communication aspect is vital. And again, this has been a 2-year wait, over 2 year. I applaud the commissioners, all three. I know not everybody's here, but thank you for all three for getting this forward. And but we need this, and otherwise we're going to continue to have problems. So this is vital, and it's vital for everybody in this room and the citizens. So thank you for letting me be heard.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
Chief Jeremy Betza, Avon Lake. Good morning, Chief.
Good morning.
Morning, Commissioners. Jeremy Betza, Fire Chief for City of Avon Lake. Thank you for letting me speak this morning. I just want to urge the importance of this radio system for Lorain County. Back to the mission critical study in 2019, it showed our current radio system in Lorain County was not public safety grade. That is a hard pill to swallow as a fire chief in this county. We all work together countlessly. The fire in Sheffield Village brought multiple fire departments that could not speak together on Saturday. We in the Northeast solved this problem locally because there was no action on a county level. With that 2019 study, we were told as a fire chiefs organization that the county was not taking any action on that radio system study. Having a study that says our county radio system is not public safety grade and being told that we were not going to do anything about it concerned me enough to get the 5 fire chiefs, the 5 mayors, and the 5 county councils together to say we need to take action. We need to do something to this. So we solved the problem in Northeast Lorain County. That has proven itself to be truly effective. That system went into service on June 19th of this year, and since then we've had flawless radio communications since. We've tested it inside every single building in Avon Lake, every single building in the region. With the 5 fire departments and 2 police departments currently operating on it, we've had flawless communication. We had a report ran through L3 systems to show that there's been 0 downtime on that system. There's been 0 issues with not enough space for communication, not enough ability to talk. We know that with what we currently have, it'll expand out to the rest of the county and have 0 issues with that. We're hopeful that this will expand out for the rest of the county and prevent any further issues of communications for us. We know that our current system works in Lorain County all over. 3 sites in Lorain County currently provides us mobile coverage. What we need is the rest of the system built out to provide portable coverage, the radios that we wear on our person and go inside structures. The mobile radios are much stronger. They will certainly work throughout the county today, but we need the rest of the system built out to allow all of our first responders, police and fire, to be able to go inside communication and go inside buildings and communicate effectively without having to worry about loss of signal. Today, we have this radio system that can hear like we're talking to each other and just right next to each other. About a year ago, Chief Radman played a recording for you of a radio communication that you couldn't hear anything. And that was what we are dealing with, is the rest of the county is still on that same radio system. Chief Radman and the other county departments still had that same issue. People were using personal communication devices to communicate. Their radios were better throwing them at somebody to get their attention than trying to talk to them. I could use that old radio system, I could see you, I could try to talk to you, and you would not hear a thing I'm saying. Today, I can be on the other side of the county and talk to you, and you can hear me like I'm in the same room with you. So I just want to urge the importance of this radio system for Lorain County. This is not a political endeavor of any kind. This is public safety communications, and we should all be in support of it, and we should all work towards getting this to the end goal. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief. Yeah, I just want to point out, I know when this topic had come up in the past, I guess in 2019, the question was, how are you going to pay for everything, right? So, I mean, the Rescue Act dollars certainly have played an important role in helping to make this possible as well. Chief, you had referenced Chief Radman. If Chief Radman wants to come forward. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for having me here, Chief Radman, City of Lorain Fire Department. I got a few notes here. Some of these guys have already talked on some of it, but some of the notes that I got, my local 267 firefighters, they're fed up. They haven't had communications in years now. We were sold a bill of goods that 911 is going to take over our dispatch. We'd have better dispatch and a better radio system. We got neither. Can't blame dispatchers on it because radio communications are failing so bad. We don't know what they're trying to tell us, if we even hear anything at all. Again, we went to Sheffield Fire, no communication whatsoever. Our radios aren't compatible with theirs. We went to Sheffield Lake, same issue. We need to be on board with them as a county. We respond with multiple other cities on a regular basis. We need to be able to communicate with them. A little background on firefighter deaths. OSHA, Occupational Safe and Healthy Health Act, formed NIOSH. They investigate firefighter deaths. As of 2016, they've investigated 600 firefighter line of duty deaths. About 40% of them, they have the NIOSH 5, which are the root causes for them. One is inadequate risk assessment, poor communications, inadequate command, lack of accountability, and lack of SOGs or failure to follow SOGs. Poor communications is a huge issue. That's number 2 on their list, but it also affects inadequate command and lack of accountability because you can never talk to your guys and know where they're at. When our guys go into a structure fire, it's a free-for-all. They're going in because there's no communication whatsoever. You guys heard the radio traffic the other day, and it's still the exact same today. A little more research. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Gordon DuPont. He basically studying aviation crisis and issues that they've had, and it's been used widely in the fire service. So he has the dirty dozen, he calls them, 12 things that create bad incidents. The number 1 is lack of communication, and that's what we deal with on a regular basis. Right now, it's like playing Russian roulette. You never know. It's going to come. Sooner or later, someone's going to die. Either it's a citizen or a firefighter because we can't communicate. I was just at a house fire 3 weeks ago. The guy came out across the street, said he just witnessed a lady come home. She's in the back bedroom. I can't even tell the guys inside where to go look first. Seconds count and the house is filling up with smoke. And I can't even communicate to guys where this lady's at. Luckily, we got to her in time. This is unacceptable for all the citizens of Lorain, Lorain County, and my firefighters going through this on a regular basis. We were promised better radio communication and better dispatch. It's time to act. We need this system now. We can't wait any longer. Thanks.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Chief.
Chief.
Chief Hammer? Robert Hammer?
Hamner of Oberlin.
Oberlin? Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Chief Anmer with the Oberlin Fire Department. Just have a few notes here. This is, as it's been said before, this is the most unified front between police, fire, and even EMS on one radio communication system. Usually we're come here button heads on what system to get, but this is the first time in my 27 years in the fire service that I've ever seen such a support for one system. I just have a few notes here. Just want to jot down. Maybe. First, I want to thank Director Young for all the work that he's been doing on this project. He's been dedicated to this project from the get-go, starting with the Sheffield Village Fire Department. He got the system up and running over there. He saw how great it works, and he brought it back to the county level, working as the Director of 911 to improve the systems that we have at the county level. The radio system we currently use was a fairly decent system when I started 27 years ago. Over the last couple of decades, the FCC has required us to narrow band the frequencies, and when they started narrow banding our frequencies, that's when we started having issues communicating with other departments. The narrow banding has greatly reduced our ability to communicate. We're to the point where you can stand on the street curb and look at a firefighter hanging in a window trying to talk to you on his radio, and we cannot hear that communications. That's critical that we were able to communicate. The need for that, at that incident, we realized that we needed to do a new radio system. When we started, the Oberlin Fire Department looked at different options. We didn't know what was out there at the time. We looked at another radio system. We had some portable radios that had the Marks radio frequency in it. So we started experimenting with that. And I tell you what, that system was awesome. My guy sitting in our dispatch at our fire station could talk to one of our guys down in Cincinnati, like we were sitting here to UOA. It was a great system. Then we started taking them into buildings, and that's when we started having issues. We could not communicate. We'd key the mic and we'd get the dead tone. You can't communicate with that system. From my understanding with the new Harris radio system that the Northeast County has, they have no issues communicating anywhere throughout their area. I can't wait to get that. That's the system that we need. That's the system that's going to save our lives and save the community's lives that we're trying to rescue. It's at our utmost importance that we get a system like that we can rely on. You know, in the fire service, we have a motto: failure is not an option. Right now, the Harris system is not failing anybody. So failure is not an option to us. We support the system. We understand the study came out with Mission Critical, and their recommendation was to support the Harris radio system and Cleveland Communications. My department and my community supports that decision. Those guys are the experts at it. They have more expertise on a radio system that's unbiased than anybody in this room. So I support their decision. My community supports their decision, and we sure hope you guys support the decision moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
Up next, the Lorain County Chiefs Association President and also Wellington Fire Chief Mike Weatherby. Morning, Chief.
Morning. Okay, Chief Weatherby, Wellington Fire District, and acting president of the County Fire Chiefs for at least another 2 years. Got railroaded into that. Yeah, yeah, and it's such a critical time, and it's been very time consuming with the radio project going on. I remember the last study that was done and how it was just kind of put to the wayside once the cost was determined, what it would cost the county to go to that. So this has started back up greatly because of the Northeast mayors and chiefs. And everybody, once they started hearing of it, they said, hey, we would like to get on board. And as the Southwest Fire Chiefs, we wanted to jump right on board too. So a great deal of time has passed. We're this vote away from achieving that reality. You know, years and years have been put into this. You know, we have this chance to move to a state-of-the-art system, and everything that the other chiefs have said, I can't reiterate enough of the lack of communications. We were out at a mutual aid fire last week, which I stood at the road, and we could not communicate from the road 200 feet up to the house. They had 2 people in the house, couldn't get them to answer their radios, and I'm standing there as a mutual aid chief watching my crews pack up, mask up to get ready to go in and hunt for their crews, knowing that the communications are where they were out in the far southwest part of the district. So it's a scary feeling. It's a very scary feeling when you've lost a firefighter under your command, which I've done. I would not ever want any other chief in here to have to go to a family and tell them that their loved one lost their life on your fire scene. I was second in command that day. And being second in command, it's not easy just to say, well, I wasn't the head cheese that day. It still haunts every time you see the family. And that's something we're trying to eliminate here, is any of us having to go through that. We're continuing transformation of Lorain County's 911 system. Jeff Young, again, can't say enough about Jeff's efforts and what he's done at 911 since moving into there. They've identified and continued to improve dispatching. A lot of inefficiencies have plagued county communications for many years, and he's committed to fixing that, and he's committed to working with us to fix that. He's not in there telling us everything they do is good. He will accept what they do, as being bad also, when that's the case. But he's committed to working with us, and not just us, but the police chiefs, anybody who uses 911 dispatching. So hats off to Jeff and what he's done there. And with your assistance, the county is now working on a more secure system with the enhancements that have been made at 911. We've eliminated a lot of the extra places that are kind of dialed into the equipment, so to speak. We've made it more secure. We've put in enhancements for CAD dispatching, station alerting, fire and EMS reporting software that most of the fire departments, you're never going to get everybody to agree on everything, but most of the fire departments are agreeing to go to the new reporting software. What that does is it allows 911 to do things in one way, and everybody can do it that one way instead of them having to dispatch 23 different ways. So that's critical. And Director Young and his people over there have done an excellent job. It's been expressed that this vote that happens today, once it passes, it's going to be reversed after the first of the year. As a fire chief and a representative of almost 13,000 residents, 26 firefighters, and my board of trustees, I hope that is not the case. This is monumental. So we respectfully request the vote be allowed to stand. It's critical. It's certainly the most cost-effective, and as you've talked to the other fire chiefs or heard from the other fire chiefs and the sheriff deputies, it is by far the best. The best of what's out there at this time, and the most cost-effective. If you look at what the other system would have cost, you know, we're doing this with ARPA money, yes, but to do this on our own dime, it would have cost my department just under $300,000 to upgrade my communications. I'll guarantee you Rochester Fire, Camden Fire, they don't have that kind of funding. They needed this, and they need you, and they need your help to make this a reality. So it's definitely the best, you know, cost-effective measure that is happening. It should be reiterated that the system in question has been tested throughout the county. It's a very impressive system and currently operating flawlessly. So now's the time to make this happen. I'm going to stand up here, and Jeremy Betza, don't laugh back there, but we have been denied our third request for assistance to firefighter grants for communications. I got my Dear John letter yesterday. Not very happy about it, but that's another reason this is critical, because Camden, Rochester, Oberlin, Carlisle were all on my effort to get that grant money for communications.
And we appreciate, Chief Weatherby, that you're sharing that with us, that you have tried.
Yes.
And you have applied, and you've been denied repeatedly. So thank you for sharing that with us.
So, and I know there are other fire departments in the county that have been successful with the AFG, but not us. And I can't pinpoint why. I'm going to do a lot more investigating there, but yes, we have tried, knowing that there are certain fire departments that can't do this on their own. It's a very cost prohibitive when you start buying radios, especially the computers, as they spoke, that is on their hip. It is a computer. It's a computer system. So I would just ask that, you know, the politics, we've got no interest in politics. We just need to be safe. We need reliability, and we need to do that in a cost effective manner, taking care of our citizens too. When it comes time for me to ask for an $800,000 fire truck, you know, it gets tougher and tougher. So with the help that you have offered here, it's huge. It's huge to everybody that stands to gain from this. So again, thank you, and thanks for all the hard work that you've put into this, as well as the hard work that our fellow chiefs and the Sheriff's Department have put into it.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you so much. Yep, I went through the sign-in sheets, which, you know, we weren't requiring for this portion of the meeting, but if there's others wishing to speak, certainly feel free to come forward at this time. Okay. Hey, Kristen.
Hi.
Councilwoman. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity. I'm Kristen Peterson. I'm a member of Oberlin City Council and also a member of the Central Lorain County Ambulance District Board. And I've been hearing for the last several years from the EMTs, from the police, from the fire, that we need this. And so thank you very much, and I agree with what was just said. I hope that the vote goes favorably and it stays in place. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Others wishing to speak this morning? Oh, okay. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Adam Shaw, I'm the president of the Lorain County Deputy Association. You guys got our letter we sent, I believe, last week to how desperately we need these radios. And I was kind of concerned when I heard Chief Weatherby mention the vote may be overturned. So the only reason I come up here is really when Commissioner Moore feels better and if Commissioner Vidal, when you're on the board, we'd invite them both to do a ride-along with us. I can show them how our radios don't work within 15 minutes and probably prove Mark's doesn't work within 4 hours. We need these desperately. Another deputy back there last night, we were working together. He thought he found a vehicle involved in a shooting in Elyria, and he was calling me for help to come get him, and he couldn't hear me. I heard him, and he was at 301, or he was at 303 and 58, and I was in Oberlin. It's 5 miles away, and we couldn't communicate. Had that turned bad, we might be burying a cop instead of up here trying to get new radios. So we would also urge the vote to obviously go favorable, and for the board not to overturn that vote, as it's putting our lives at risk, these firemen's lives at risk, my deputies' lives at risk. Not only do we rely on these, but my family does. I have 3 kids. They want to see me come home and not go be dead due to a radio. So the Deputy Association obviously really urges this vote to go through, and again would ask both Commissioner Moore and Commissioner-elect Vidal to come to a ride along with us and see how terrible our radios are and how Mark's does not work for us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any others willing to speak this morning? Commissioner, do you have some comments?
I have a statement, yes.
Okay.
Nobody else wants to speak? Okay. I apologize if I'm long-winded. Many of you came up and mentioned the history on this topic. So I'm going to kind of go through some of those dates. Starting with on January 4th, 2021, I reported to my first day of work serving as one of 3 duly elected Lorain County Commissioners. As I've said to many, many people over the past 2 years, I love my job, I love coming to work, and I love representing all of the residents of Lorain County. On May 9th, 2018, the Lorain County Board of Commissioners, then Ted Kalo, Matt Lundy, and Lori Kikowski, unanimously passed a resolution to enter into a professional service proposal with Mission Critical Partners, or MCP, for the completion of a land mobile radio communication system assessment. And I quote the minutes. Quote, County Administrator Cordes said, this equipment should have the whole county on board and unveiling the second phase with GPS and school buses. Close quote. The vision from the previous board was to complete the study to see what the needs were for the county departments and county safety forces. The radio system technical assessment was submitted to the Lorain County Board of Commissioners, the previous board of Kalo, Lundy, and Kikowski, in February of 2019, approximately 275 pages. This is what all of you guys in the room affectionately referred to as the Mission Critical Study. The recommendation on page 56 reads, quote, based on our findings and after reviewing available frequencies, MCP recommends a county-owned and maintained P25 Phase 2 trunk simulcast system that operates in the 700-800 megahertz bands, close quote. MCP went on to recommend, based on the county's desire to implement a county P25 radio system, MCP recommends that the county implements a microwave network in a ring or hot standby configuration with the design reliability of 99%, close quote. So you hear some of the chiefs talking about the antennas in different areas of the county. Lorain County will have to maintain, Mission Critical also noted in 6.8 on the interoperability issue. Lorain County will have to maintain VHF and UHF talk group channels to have interoperable communications with MARCS, the multi-county public trunked radio system, City of Elyria, and the counties of Erie, Huron, Cuyahoga, and Ashland. Now, to note, since this study was published, Huron County has made the switch to the L3 Harris system. The study showed that MCP understood the importance of the interoperability with the MARC system. Also in 2021, the Lorain County Board of Commissioners approved for both MARCS and the Harris system to go up on the tower located on Burns Road, the tallest tower in Lorain County. In section 6.9, Mission Critical outlined the next steps. It recommends for Lorain County, quote, "The lack of a county-wide radio system has the potential every day to negatively impact the ability of public safety first responders to communicate during both routine and critical incidents," close quote. Mission Critical went on to recommend the county take the steps to move forward with the radio procurement. According to the study on page 59, 1, select a system design option. The 2019 study did just that. Number 2, plan and secure funding. The questions I repeatedly inquired about with our assistant county prosecutor in 2021 was how the county would fund such a system. During my campaign and during my tenure as commissioner, I have been vocal of my support in public for moving forward the recommendation by MCP. The safety forces here today know that I did not hide my support, nor did I play dirty political theater at the expense of Lorain County residents. Number 3, develop a preliminary specification and RFP. The preliminary specification was ordered by the board unanimously on May 4th, 2022. Number 4, move forward with the final RFP development and procurement process once funding is available. Which brings us back to why I was persistent with asking the question of the Assistant County Prosecutor if the Board of Commissioners could use an American Rescue Plan Act grant to fund the project. On August 3rd, 2022, Commissioner Hung and Commissioner Lundy passed the RFP request for procurement as recommended by Mission Critical Partners in their 2019 study. I'd like to thank County Administrator J.R. White and Deputy County Administrator Karen Perkins for all their work and due diligence in overcoming all of the hurdles thrown at them with this project. J.R. White, with his legal background, worked well with the Assistant County Prosecutor, and Karen Perkins brought her 30-plus years of facilities management to bring us to the conclusion we're at today. I'd also like to thank 911 Director Jeff Young for his strategic planning role in this project. Great job to all of you. I'd like to thank all of Lorain County's finest, Sheriff Stimity and the Lorain County Sheriff's deputies, Captain Ashdown, our leaders in fire, police, and ambulance personnel from throughout the county who have come before us today to speak. You have written letters, you have written emails, you have presented your concerns to this board for years. Folks, this has been a long road. And it started on May 9th, 2018 with the previous Board of Commissioners, Ted Kalo, Matt Lundy, and Lori Kukowski. We would not be here today if it were not for them seeing the vision of what this could be for Lorain County. I want to thank each and every one of our first responders and safety service personnel who supported this project. That I have said many, many times, you guys have heard me say this, that this project is near and dear to my heart. We are here now because all of us work together to bring safe, updated, state-of-the-art radio communications for our residents. So when they make that call in their most dire time of need, agencies across Lorain County can arrive on the scene, communicate, plan, and implement life-saving support. Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, no, thank you. It's always good to establish a timeline and give a historic perspective on things.
5 years.
Yeah, yeah. And as I stated earlier, I think the challenge all along was trying to figure out how to pay for the radios, right? I know that there were a lot of applications made for grants. Unfortunately, those were unsuccessful as well, too. And, I know sometimes people are critical of government and the way it spends its money, but I think the community realizes that there's a big value here for an investment in safety by investing these Rescue Act dollars into improved communications throughout the county. Certainly want to thank everybody who worked on it. I think they're probably glad to get a few commissioners off their backs on several issues, legal and JR and Karen. Jeff Young has done an amazing job, and that's why we're going to make sure that the program of you bringing forward your approvals with your local government entities will actually flow through the 911 office. And you all know Jeff well and respect him, and he's been a great catch. I remember calling Mayor Hunter, and I was hoping he wasn't going to be mad at me when I told him we were going to grab Jeff and make him our 911 director, and he was good about things, but he's really been a great administrator. Public safety should never be a political issue. It's unfortunate that for some reason some chose to make it one, but we're doing the right thing here today. I've heard too many stories of the communications issues. You all know that we can't do anything as a board until legal signs off on everything. So we made sure that we followed all the legal steps along the way. And you have approved a contract as to form for my signature today. So we will be signing that contract today once there's a vote taken. But I just want to thank all the first responders in here about the job that you do. Your job is difficult enough without showing up to the scene and not being able to communicate, with not being able to get backup, not being able to let somebody know that somebody's in a room in the back of a house when they're inside the building, you can't communicate with them. So, you truly are our hometown heroes, and I know you do a job I could never do. I always tell people I spent 20 years as a reporter, and some of the things I've seen police do and fire do, you're very courageous individuals. So we're finally going to get this thing done. It'll elevate some stress in my life. I don't know about yours, but alleviate. Not elevate. We don't want it to elevate. We don't want it to elevate. Yeah, right. Yeah. But do want to thank you for what you've done and for your passion and and your patience too. And I know it's been difficult, but thankfully we're going to get this done here today and move forward to make the community safer and make it possible for everybody to go home to their families at night. So thanks for all that you do.
Yeah, and I think Commissioner Lundy, just going through that timeline, you realized, this is 5 years in the making, and this is 2 administrations working to get this done.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got 17 and 18 will be passing, just so folks know the breakdown. The total investment is $7.7 million, and $3.7 million will be going towards the sheriff's office, 911, and EMA. I think that breaks down to 1.9 sheriff, 1.4 911, and 342 for EMA. And then we'll be investing more than $4 million into the community for public safety. So that's the breakdown. Okay?
Yeah, just to be
You wanna add?
that guy.
Sure.
It's not, the money under 17 is not going directly to the sheriff, EMA, or, and the idea is that that's a direct spend from the board, is the,
As a sub-grant,
correct. Well, no, the sub-grant is in 18.
in the 18 rather.
17
Right.
is the
No,
direct,
you're right.
because those are county entities.
Right,
That was,
right.
that was the issue last week, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
we're in a roll call vote for 17 now?
We are.
Okay.
Sure.
Ready? Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Item number 18.
18, establish and set aside $4,033,542.97 sub-grant for participating political subdivisions for Lorain County Public Radio System to be paid from the ARPA Other Expenses account.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Okay. Thank
It's a good thing.
you. Yeah, thank you, everyone. And, yeah, we have other items on the agenda. I know probably a lot of folks.
We want to recess for pictures too.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll take a brief break at this time, and then we'll return to the rest of the agenda. Picking up with item 19, yes.
Okay, Victor, please, we're going.
And we have returned. We'll pick it up with item number 19 on the agenda.
Under Community Development, award contract to J.A. Kilby Enterprises, North Ridgeville, in the amount of $17,402.22 for Howard Dugan at Elyria to receive grant assistance from CHIP Program Year 20, home repair for electrical rewire. This was the most responsive bid received, complying with specification, and includes a contingency and will be paid from CHIP Program Year 20 contract services.
So move.
Second.
Discussion.
Yeah, Drake, did you want to comment on this? Okay, only if we have questions. Yeah, we don't. And it says, obviously, program year 20, but these are 2-year programs, right? Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to make sure when the public hears that it's 20, they don't think we have a typo in here.
Right. Well, thank you for the opportunity. This is part of the 2-year cycle grant. It started in 2020, goes through, actually it's been extended, it's going to go through the end of 23.
Oh, really? Okay.
So this will be to benefit this income-eligible household with an electrical rewire. That was all that was needed there at this point in time, hopefully this will take good care of them for a good while.
So, folks, where can they contact your office to see if maybe they're eligible for the program?
Oh, they can, I'm with the Lorain County Community Development Department on the 5th floor here at the administration building. Our phone number is 440-328-2322. That'll get you directly to the office, and you can ask for Drake Hopewell or either Ian Berry, and we both deal with the CHIP program.
Great.
Thank you, Drake.
Thank you.
Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Number 20, entering an agreement with Passero Associates in the amount of $92,285 for consulting services for Lorain County Community Development Department to be paid from professional services account.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
21, entering in a proposal with Rudolph Leiby Properties in the amount of $15,000 plus 5% for community development services and will be paid from the professional services account.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Under Emergency Management, Homeland Security, 22, amend Resolution 22-615 adopted August 31st, 22, approving a grant of $766,662 for the purchase of a technical response trailer. Said amendment is to reflect an increase in cost of $25,926 to delete the 100% discount in the amount of $17,165, and increased cost for radio on new equipment in the amount of $8,761, and this will be paid from the ARPA capital equipment account.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
23, Job and Family, authorize various personnel to utilize the various credit card privileges for the year 23 in accordance with the ORC and their permissible policy.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Children's Services, 24, authorize various personnel to utilize the agency's MasterCard for the year 23, not to exceed $2,500 in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code and their permissible policy.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Engineer, 25, amend Resolution 22-827, adopted November 30th of 22, authorizing ODOT to review and approve a posted speed limit of 45 miles per hour for North Ridge Road, County Road 1, from the Erie County line to Banks Road, Brownhound Township. Said amendment is to reflect after ODOT review, they have recommended 50 miles per hour.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
26, authorize engineer to enter an LPA federal local let project agreement with ODOT for the bridge deck replacement of Overland Road Bridge number 0644 in Amherst Township. Estimate cost for new bridge deck is $500,000, and federal funding will be made available at 100% for the new deck in state fiscal year 23.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Under the Sheriff, 27, enter in a sub-grant agreement with Ohio Department of Public Safety, Ohio Recovery, Ohio Fund Grant in the amount of $79,467.80 for DTF to be applied towards salaries and paid from the Criminal Justice Services account.
So move.
Second.
Discussion.
Just had a comment on the grant. Our agents that work in the drug task force are the heart of the county to take dangerous drugs off the street. out in the community, we hear about overdoses and drug-related deaths and the toll it takes on families. This grant today supports the Drug Task Force salaries, and these are the folks getting drug criminals off the streets, making Lorain County safer for our residents. Just wanted to give a thank you to Major Barker and Grants Director Dennis Kavanaugh. Am I forgetting anybody, Captain Ashdown? Okay, for applying and working so hard to secure the grant funding. Thank you very much, guys.
Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Number 28, authorize the Office of Lorain County Sheriff to dispose of Walther 9mm caliber semi-automatic handguns in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code 307.12B, 1.
So move.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
29, authorize sheriff to apply for grant funds through Office of Criminal Justice Services for the 2020 Coronavirus Emergency Supplement Funding Program in the amount of $480,332.90 to be reimbursed for overtime pay specifically for warrants that were not able to be served during the COVID pandemic, and this will be paid from the salary 9% account.
So move.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Okay, we've reached the public comment section of the meeting. Anyone wishing to participate in public comment this morning? Seeing no, yes, sir. If you would come forward. I don't know if we had a sign-in sheet for you
No.
or not, but you can come forward. You can fill it out later.
There's a sign in.
Yeah.
I can do it later.
Just state your name and residency.
Excuse me, Aiden Fogel.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice to see you
Good to
guys.
see you guys.
Don't see Dave Moore.
Yeah,
Don't
he's
know
sick today.
What happened to him, but obviously he had something more important to do today than to come up here and vote on this radio program. So what I'd like to do is give a brief history on the radio program that I put together through public record requests. May 9th of 2018, the then Board of Commissioners entered into a professional service proposal with Mission Critical Partners for completion of land, mobile radio communication system assessment in the amount of $77,726, which is on page number 259, resolution number 18317. The study was completed and a report was sent to the board dated February 2019. This is a publicly available document and is 283 pages printed. It's called the Radio System Technical Assessment. In this document on page 59, labeled 6.9 Next Steps, MCP recommends that the county take the following steps to move forward with the radio system procurement. Key steps include select the system design option, plan and secure funding, develop a preliminary system specification and RFP, move forward with final RFP development and the procurement process once funding is available. Also in this document on page 56, section 6, recommendations 6.1, system recommendation, MCP recommends a county-owned and maintained P25 Phase 2 trunk simulcast system that operates in the 700 and 800 megahertz band range. This is what Cleveland Communications L3 Harris is, just not county-owned antenna and network. In the same document on page 20, the price tag was estimated to be approximately $20 million, and the county just did the same for just shy of $8 million. No action was taken by that board for a radio system in 2019 or 2020. In 2021, discussion began on a new radio system. May 4th of 2022, entering into a consulting services agreement with Mission Critical Partners, LCC PA, in the amount of $56,750.40 to provide services for the acquisition of a new land mobile radio system to enhance its emergency 911 system. On page 299 of the resolution 22-319, passed by a unanimous vote, which is a one-page publicly available document printed by the RFPs, Cleveland Communications sent a full response. Motorola Solutions sent a letter of no bid, also publicly available, and Vasu sent in a subscribers only with recommendation to Marks, which is priced equivalent to CCI without creating a new network. Also noted at the bottom that Mission Critical Partners states only one vendor is compliant, has a proven track record in the county and surrounding counties, and believes it is in the county's best interest to proceed with contract negotiations with CCI. The point that this timeline does is vindicates any accusations of bid rigging or contract steering that were atrociously insinuated by Commissioner Dave Moore in 2021 concerning Commissioner Hung, Harry Williamson, Cleveland Communications, and Matt Lundy. In Moore's attempt to keep his campaign donor Jeff Armbruster happy, whose son is also a lobbyist for the MARC system and is also Representative Brett Hillier's aide, and Brett Hillier is trying to introduce and pass House Bill 278 mandating marks across the state, and which would increase wireless cell phone user fees to pay for it. And also Armbruster's own city is trying to oust a high-ranking public safety official for going with L3 Harris and not a MARC system. It is also interesting that State Auditor Keith Faber, who issued a subpoena based on Commissioner Moore's wild accusations, had a house party hosted by Armbruster on September 29, 2022, and whose investigation went nowhere, and the length of time that has passed since it started, obviously there was nothing of any substance. And it's also interesting that Jeff Armbruster was at Dave Moore's latest fundraiser on December 13, 2022. There was a lot of testimony today from the first responders. It was pretty clear what they want, what they need, and I don't think that they should let any excuses or politics blind the people when Dave Moore tries to unwind this in 2023, which is the rumor that I've heard. And I mean, the only reason he would do that would be to appease his donors and line his own pockets. Politics should have no role in first responder safety or the public safety. And I'd also like to say that to Jeff Riddell, who I think left, don't be a puppet. Be your own voice, learn your own role and your responsibilities, be a commissioner for the people, not one person, and don't sacrifice first responder safety for monetary gain. I hope that more is gone in 2024, no more in 24, and I wish the commissioners good luck. Happy holidays.
Thank you, Mr. Fogel.
Thank you.
Okay, any other public comments? Seeing none, how about we'll get an update from County Administrator J.R. White.
Hi, Commissioners. Just a couple quick things. First of all, happy holidays, Merry Christmas to everybody that's watching and that's here today, especially our team here and our employees who are magnificent and make coming to work a pleasure. Merry Christmas to you and all your families. Happy holidays as well. Some months ago, this board donated a 2006 van that that had gone past its useful life, outlived its useful life, for the Sheriff's Department. There was a request made by the Sheriff's Department to donate that van to Police Department in Bozeman, Colorado. That has been received, and I just wanted...
Montana, right?
Nope, it's Colorado, please. Oh, Montana, okay, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Bozeman, Montana.
Sorry about that. Montana.
It's okay.
Anyway, they got the van. They're happy with it. They sent back a postcard saying thank you. So I appreciate that. Also, just keep an eye out for the sheriff's travel advisories as this weather turns and it gets bad. And also, just wanted to let you know that let the public know that this building is closed Friday and Monday in observance of the Christmas holiday. So, thank you.
Very good. Yeah, I think I sent back an email saying that there's going to be somebody from Lorain County in Montana, and it may be the van instead of a lot of others in the cold weather out there. So, okay. Deputy Administrator?
Mayor Hunter.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Thank you for staying with us, Mayor Hunter.
Sure.
It's a special treat to have you here for the whole meeting.
Thank you. John Hunter, Mayor and Safety Director of the Village of Sheffield, President of the Lorain County Mayor Managers Association. I just want to thank the commissioners for their attended process with this radio system. It's very, very important. I feel it's went through the all the processes. It's for the betterment of all the residents of Lorain County, as it's shown by the people here today. Second, we're working on a sewer project in Sheffield Village called the North Abbey Sewer Line. And it's a sewer line that will service Ford Motor Company and their expansion, Berkshire Freezer Company. It'll service 3 residents, 5 other businesses already there, and a new business called C&MM Concrete Moore Company. Commissioners worked definitely on it. I want to thank Don Romancic for his department's help over the year, and especially with this project, with all the projects that went on to in the village of Sheffield. Without their help and the help of the county commissioners, we would not have been the success that we were in Sheffield Village this year. We brought in to Sheffield Village this year 31 new businesses, and with the help of that, we also brought in with that 480 new jobs. This new project in the sewers will bring in almost 2,500 new jobs, high-paying jobs. I want to thank Commissioner Hung for making a special trip down to talk to the governor's office and the Lorain County, Ohio State Economic Development Department about help for the sewer plan, not only for Sheffield Village, for other projects throughout Lorain County, including Grafton and Mayor Spenzo's project down there, the one out on Baumhart Road, and also 8 other projects. I want to thank the commissioners for being attentive throughout the year. And I want to especially extend a thanks to our Commissioner President, Mayor Matt Lundy, who's a personal friend and a friend to everybody in Lorain County, for his diligence, his dedication, his spirit of fairness, and how he served the residents of Lorain County throughout the past years as this commissioner. He'll be a loss. I'm looking forward to working with him, with the city of Elyria. I know that this is successful projects done in Lorain County because of the team effort made between the county commissioners, the county engineer, Ken Carney, county sheriff department with Phil Cimetti, our county prosecutor's office with J.D. Thomason. I'll tell you, this county can move forward and does move forward because of the efforts of the leadership in this county from the top to the bottom. And our Mayor's Association welcome all of you to come out as you had this past year to address our council, hear our interests, hear the interests of what they want to get done in the different cities. We meet the 3rd Wednesday of each month at 8 a.m. I'll be glad to put all of you on the schedule, one at a time or as a group. So please pass it on to the new commissioners coming in, that you're always welcome at our meetings. We will work together for everything in Lorain County for the betterment of the residents. We say when we have our mayor's meetings, we leave our political hats outside the door, and we discuss things fairly and openly and in closed door session so that we can be open-handed and get the true facts and to move issues ahead. I want to continue this process and working with the county commissioners in the future, regardless of who they are. We can all get something from it if we all remember we all came from the same place. We are all part of a family. Adam and Eve are connected, all of us. God made us all the same. We all got our own genes starting down the family tree. So if we all remember that to give to others what you want them to give to you, we can accomplish your yacht. God bless every one of you, and God bless this country. God bless Lorain County. Merry Christmas to you all.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Very nice words. Thank you. Much appreciated. We always enjoy working closely with you and doing all we can to help the heart of Lorain County. So thanks for being here today.
Thank you, Mayor.
Deputy Administrator Perkins, did you have something you wanted to add?
It is still morning. Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning. It is still morning, yeah.
I had just wanted to check and make sure. I don't have a report today. I just wanted to thank Commissioner Lundy for the years that you and I have worked together and how much of a joy that has been for me
Oh, come
most
on
of the
now,
time.
being sarcastic.
You've kept me on my toes, and I do appreciate that. I love a challenge, and you have been a challenge. So just wanted to thank you for those years of being able to work together with you, and wish you well for the future.
Yeah.
And also, Merry Christmas to all. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, I've greatly enjoyed working with you, and always amazed by the amount of work you get done and how you execute it so well. And it's been just a great joy, working with you. And sorry to make your life so miserable on many days, but as though you don't have enough things to work on, it's like, hey, could you look into this too? But yeah, you've always been great. So, and I think you and JR work extremely well as a team, and we're just, really blessed with a lot of good folks here. That's for sure. So, Dan Petticourt.
I have no report. I wanted to say best of luck to you, Matt.
Oh, thank you.
In your future
Thanks.
endeavors. I know that
Thanks.
it's always interesting to start a new chapter, and
Sure.
I'm sure you'll do well in your new role. And Merry Christmas to everybody, and thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thanks. I know we kept you on your toes here, right? A little bit.
That's the way it goes.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're now to Commissioner's report, and Commissioner Hung.
Thank you for the time, Mr. President. I want to thank everyone for coming out today to talk about the Safe Communications Radio project. It is certainly a historic day, and it concludes almost 5 years of work and 2 administrations to see this come to fruition for the health, safety, and welfare of the residents of Lorain County. I wanted to say a few words about my colleague, Matt Lundy. Matt has served as your duly elected Lorain County Commissioner for 2 terms commencing in 2015. I've worked with him for 2 years, and I'd like to share a little snapshot of what I've learned about Matt Lundy. Commissioner Lundy loves Lorain County and its residents. In those early days when I first started on this board, I recall Commissioner Lundy saying that we as a board represent all of the residents of Lorain County. We don't just represent the interest of one point of view. And he encouraged the board to be open to intelligent and thoughtful consideration when working on topics important to the residents. Matt's point of view isn't about what he needed. It was what the residents needed and how we as a board could work together to move Lorain County forward. Commissioner Lundy will be serving the residents of Elyria in his new endeavor just across the street in Elyria, and I wish him well and thank him for his 8 years of service to Lorain County. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner.
So, as we've known Matt to say, just one more thing.
Sure.
And lastly, I'd just like to thank the employees that work under the Lorain County Board of Commissioners. While 2021 was a year that the board chose to pivot direction and leadership, 2022 was a year that stable and steady as she goes was the mantra here at the administration building. It was because of our employees' dedication to Lorain County and its residents. The Board of Commissioners was ready and able to provide the services our residents expect from Lorain County government. And with that, I wish you and yours a Merry Christmas and the happiest of New Year's.
Okay, wow. Well, thank you for thanks for the kind words, and just want to tell everybody how much of an honor it's been to be able to serve in this position. I remember the first time I sat in the chair in Columbus, and I thought, boy, Matt, you better not screw this up. You've been given a lot of responsibility. It was a little overwhelming. But I know throughout my life, I always had an interest in serving as a commissioner. A lot of folks seem to forget I ran for the office in 1994 against Betty Blair. And Betty was not too happy with me at that time. We became friends later on. It was an office, I guess, I was always seeking and interested in. So I just, want to thank the residents for the opportunity to serve in this capacity. I guess each day I tried to approach the job with what was instilled in me by my parents, to treat people with dignity and respect and practice the golden rule. And it's been it's been an honor to serve. What's always great is the great people that you get to meet in this kind of job. Meet a lot of interesting people, and I guess having worked over 20 years as a reporter, you always have the curiosity factor, and I just love conversations with people, learning about their lives and looking at the problems in hand and how best to solve those problems. And but the important part of having been a reporter is you always learn that there's two sides to every story. And I think that served me well in government and in this capacity to know that, you could hear a pretty convincing story on one side, but you definitely needed to get the other side of the story so you could work it through and balance it out. But, yeah, public service can be challenging for those who step up, and I have a great deal of respect for those who step up to seek an office. Your whole life becomes an open book. Everything you say and do is subject to criticism. But it's definitely rewarding when you're able to accomplish things like we were today with the radios. I think that's why I got a little choked up because, that's in government, there's a lot of days filled with criticism. There aren't a lot of days where you actually say, wow, this is something that's really great for the community that we actually got done today, because it takes time and a lot of patience to do it. But it's not possible without working with many great colleagues, and having served with Ted Kalo and Lori Kokoski, and having served with Sharon Suida, and now Commissioner Hung and Commissioner Moore, and Jim Cordes. I'm going to leave people out here. Karen, the whole group, just everybody here, and Teresa's put up with me in so many ways, but we always know she really runs the show here, folks, but we just don't tell you that. So she just says, oh, well, that's the way it should be done, and, she tells Dan, no, this is the way we're doing it. And so, but that's Teresa being Teresa, and that's why we love her so much and why she's such a great worker on the team here. But it's been just a great experience, a lot of good people to work with here, and I've had a chance to meet with some of the team over there at the City of Elyria when they had a management training session, and a lot of good people over there, worked in that department before, and I think, as I stated in my public comments, some of the nice people you ever meet work for the City of Elyria, and certainly for the County of Lorain as well. So we're blessed to have a lot of people who understand the importance of public service and serving the taxpayers. But I just can't thank the public enough for the opportunity to serve, and looking forward to my new role in public service. I hope folks know they can always call me, email me, whatever it may be, if I can be of any help to you, or if you just want to have a conversation, that's a good thing too. But I think it's been a productive year, and I certainly have enjoyed working with you as well, Commissioner Hung, throughout the year. I think this has been a great year of many accomplishments for the county. I certainly would urge incoming Commissioner Riddell to do all he can to work with everybody. And in this job, what's great is being able to serve the people and put the people first and people ahead of politics, which is always important. And I certainly wish him all the best. But it's been a great ride. I do tell people, though, it's not a funeral. I'm not dead yet. And I just really have appreciated the opportunity to serve, and look forward to the opportunity afforded me by the mayor to be able to serve in public service for the City of Elyria. So thank you for all the years of great relationships, and I will keep all of you in my prayers, and wish you all a happy holiday season. This is a season of what's supposed to be peace and love, and I hope that reminds us that we certainly need more civility in the world, less division. We need to work together a lot more on issues. We need to put party politics aside, focus on the people, and, try to remind ourselves of what we're taught in church on Sunday, about working with others, being our brother's keeper. And I always found it interesting because everybody leaves church service and then they are fighting in the parking lot as to who goes next to get out, right? So you forget that sermon or teaching real quick. But yeah, I've been blessed, and thank the Lord, and this is the plan that He has for me, and I'm looking forward to it. So thank you, everyone. If I left anybody out, I'm sorry, but it's just been a great experience. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next, we have the clerk's report. Oh, my.
Well, On Monday, January 9th at 9:30 will be our Commissioners' Organizational Meeting. At 11 a.m. will be our Transportation Improvement District. Wednesday, January 18th, Commissioners' Meeting. Thursday, January 19th at 9:30, Land Bank Meeting. Tuesday, January 4th at 9:30, Stormwater. Tuesday, January 24th at 11, Investment. Wednesday, January 25th, Commissioners' Board Meeting. And then State of Ohio mileage reimbursement for 23 will be 58 cents per mile. And thank you, Commissioner Lundy, for serving with you.
Oh, great. Thank you. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed it. Next.
It's been a pleasure. One more thing. And then county offices are closed on Friday, December 23rd, Monday, December 26th, and again, Friday, December 30th, and Monday, January 2nd.
We didn't tell JR he has to come and shovel the sidewalks on Friday during the blizzard?
The Board of Commissioners can tell the county administrator that. Sorry, JR.
Oh, yeah, your back's stiffening up all of a sudden. Oh, I got you. Yeah, there you go. That's true, too. I thought you'd do it out of the kindness of your heart. So.
And then we're gonna expect a report on that, JR. Detailed.
How many salt pebbles did you use?
Exactly.
Well,
Then we have, what, board course?
Yeah,
Oh,
this time I'll move to waive the
Okay.
reading of the board correspondence unless we want to be here any longer.
what should I do? It's my last
I
meeting. Let's see.
know.
I'll,
Just waiting
I'll-
for that clerk to read
I'll
that,
second that,
Erica.
second that,
That's
yeah,
what
for her to
she's
read it.
delegating.
Yeah.
Have they ever made you read the board correspondence?
Yeah, we need to do one.
Did you really?
Really?
Once.
Once.
And that was enough, huh?
In this administration,
And then,
yes.
and then, let me just put it this way, then she set me straight.
Did she say, "We're not doing it anymore"?
You ever heard the clerks in Columbus, the way they have to read the legislation? They read it so fast, they're almost like doing a disclaimer on a car commercial. And I think they read it that fast because they don't want the public to actually know what they're voting on. at the
Correct,
time.
that's why we do that way.
Exactly.
If I read it slow, then you're like, oh,
Yeah.
what? Let's move on.
Oh, I'm-
Commissioner Hung,
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye. Okay, any other business come before the board? Teresa doesn't need another pay increase? No? I'm joking.
Hey.
Okay, well, anyhow, seeing no other business, we won't be going into executive session, so now we are officially adjourned.